because it was a much more clandestine world. It's still clandestine, by the way, but it was much more so then. So we have semi-informed people say, okay, you guys are the reasons why. When I get there, I'm going to do some shit. Right? So from the physical and from the metaphysical, it's going to come home and it's going to get us. And we may not even understand other reasons. It might be, kind of biblical or whatever. We might have earthquakes or there's ultimately there will be a price to pay for our global predation that we keep hidden and cloaked and tucked behind the scenes. We don't go to Congress anymore. We don't make people accountable for saying, yes, I'm signing off on this. When your son or daughter dies, I'm responsible because I signed off on this. Most of these people don't give a shit anyway because they've been completely compromised, violated. Maybe they've taken part in some kind of ritual where they've degraded themselves to the point where they don't care anymore. That's quite possible, by the way, and more often than not. And then there's the socially acceptable version of that, where you have to kind of look the other way. So that's okay. I'll do this over here, and I'll make up for it in another way. I'll make sure we have more stoplights in town. It'll be safer. Oh, by the way, we'll throw some webcams on there too. Just make a few dollars along the way. Pineapple juice. It's going to come back to get us, I'm telling you right now. Unless we wake up. And I'm going on record, Donald Trump is participating in a disingenuous act. Now, what's also very weird about Trump is that he's going to do good things too, like the job thing. He's going to make a big deal, big announcement about cars and Detroit. So on the one hand, people are going to get some level of prosperity. He's going to, lower taxes, and people will get some prosperity. So they'll be okay. It's kind of like bread and circus. The bread and the circus isn't the beer and the porn that we got in the 70s. It might actually be a real job that you actually be able to have some money and put into your bank account. And maybe the millennials won't have to sell their clothes in order to eat, which is a headline I saw, by the way, today. But on the other hand, there will be this hegemonic kind of expansion in going back on his campaign. It wasn't really a campaign promise. It was more of a campaign illusion that the previous administration had made a mess out of the Middle East. And what are we doing in Syria? Probably would have been better if we'd left Gaddafi in Libya. He was making all these. So Americans are connecting the dots and saying, well, great, he's going to take us out of there. Thank God. We've been there for 15 years and we haven't won a goddamn thing. What if we won there? Oh, we took over Iraq. That's right. And then eventually we kind of handed it back to the Iraqis. Kind of. You know what I hate? I hate this disingenuous and hypocritical bullshit. Right? Like, you get people who are going over there and basically losing life and limb, insanity and friend and comrade in corporate wars. I mean, this is really what they are, the corporate wars. And, helping a certain country in the Middle East expand their borders and territories. Okay, this is why we're doing all this. And flip these semi-sovereign nations and get them into the New World Order. And they did it with Iraq, they did it with Libya, and there are two other nations there they got to flip. One is Syria and the other's Iran. And if they knock Syria off the list, if they're able to get Assad out, which I think will probably go through World War III before that happens, by the way, then they'll set their eyes on Iran. And then, little countries like Lebanon and Jordan. Although, when the Israelis went into Lebanon, they got their asses kicked. By the way, the Israelis are not very good at hand-to-hand combat. They're not very good. they tend to lose because they're on the wrong side of truth. I hate to say it. Anyway, he's being disingenuous. And that's the truth. And we better wake up. You know, I will be forever grateful for Trump breaking the chain of custody with Bush and Clinton. I'll be forever grateful. And I don't know if they're going to replace the TPP with something even more odious. That's possible. But I'm grateful that he got us out of the TPP. Everything over and above that, I'll be grateful for breaking the chain of political correctness. You're breaking that code. Yeah, those are the things I'm grateful for. Thank you. Thank you, Donald Trump. We'll take it over from here. You've done a great job disrupting and setting things into motion. We'll take it over from here. Because it's clear. Like I saw a picture of them. I saw a picture of him and Mattis. They were in front of these troops who were, I don't know, maybe associated with going either over to, no, they might have just been boarding a plane. But both him and Mattis had their heads down. They're looking down. They weren't even looking at these guys. They weren't even looking at them in the face. How can people live with themselves like that? It blows my mind. Blows my mind. So here's another truth that I put out on Facebook. This one's getting a lot of hits. I didn't do a lot of hits. This is what I said. I've gotten 34 likes so far. I said, I hate to say it. I hate to say this, but the internet is helping to create a planet of whores. I get bombarded daily by women who want to be my friend, and all they want is for me to pay for the webcam show. Men need to shut this shit down so that those women can find some other way to live and regain a true level of self-respect. For women get the same thing from men. They get like the semi-rugged kind of, hey, I want to be your friend, and here's my webcam, and, watch me peel my cucumber. It's like, and this has just happened, like, in the past 6 months. And my friend queue is just clogged with these women. And some of them are incredibly young. Like, some of them are I bet you some of them are underage. Some of them really look underage. So if Facebook is allowing this and allowing these feeds to come in and they're underage women, they need to be shut down. Or at the very least, they need to stop these feeds. But there's a bigger problem here. And the problem is that the internet has been set up in such a way where, women and men, I suppose, but I'm dealing with women, that they can essentially prostitute themselves out, even though they may not actually sleep with anybody. They may just play with their boobies and touch themselves and moan and do all kinds of things, and maybe in their mind that's like a hermetically sealed experience, and hey, they're getting paid a lot of money to not even screw anyone. But it's still a whorish behavior, I'm sorry. It still is. I don't know. If I were a woman and I could make $2,000 a day just by screwing around and playing with myself, or having a friend over or something, who knows? Would I do it? I don't think so. But the internet has created so many opportunities for this. And I'm not even talking about the dark web, where it's really scary. You can get anything you want on the dark web. Nobody really talks about the dark web. It's so dark, so illicit. There's a book out there on if you want to read about it. But we've created like this culture of whoredom with the internet. I mean, even like, I hate to say this, right? I mean, like on YouTube, I have a client and a reader. He's a public figure. His name is Alex Kazemi. You can read his stuff online. He just wrote a piece for the New York Observer, and it's about young people on this new platform where they do crazy shit. It's young people. It's like Pluto and Sag kids. I forget what the name of the platform is, but it's kind of like the new version of Snapchat. But these kids are prostituting themselves, and they're doing it because we have become so addicted to identity, to fame, to ego. We've become so addicted to it. It's become a drug. And now we have these low-level, entry-level drugs, which is the internet and the tools, in order for these kids to get into it and emulate people who are ultimately prostituting themselves on the internet. It's a way to become instantly known and famous. And even with, the YouTube channels and people ranting and raving, and I'm one of them. I keep telling myself I've got to go to YouTube. I've got to go to YouTube and do more YouTube videos, but I don't. I should. I was going to simulcast today's show. I'll do that next week just to see how it goes. I got myself another computer. I can do it now. But even that's kind of a level of whoredom. And I think that in some ways we're moved and driven by the truth, and we've got these tools and these vehicles, and I think it's great. But I think sometimes we're also really involved with our ego. Oh, look at me. I got 50,000 views. Ooh, 100,000 views. I must be doing something right. Oh, yeah, it feels good. Let me get more views, more views, more views. There's a level of whoredom there as well. I don't think there's any such thing as altruism. I don't think altruism really exists. I think we're all in it for something. What am I in this for? I'm in this for self-expression. This gives me a modality to self-express. It's kind of an artistic vehicle, whatever. And I also like to share information. And I also think it's really important that, we disseminate something that these other organelles of media and information are not disseminated in a way that we need to hear or talk about, because I don't dig it. Is that altruistic? Am I doing it for humanity? I'm doing it because there's some deeper need that I don't understand at times that's forcing me to do it. Must be the Jupiter thing. Must be Jupiter conjunct the galactic center. But these are the reasons why I do it. But do I get recognition? Sure I do. And it feels good. I'll be honest with you. It feels good. Because every now and then somebody will say, Robert, we love what you do. Keep doing it. Great, I'll do it. That's the voice in the wind. It's recognizing the fact that I am doing something. And thank you for that. But yeah, that's part of it too. I mean, let's get real. Let's get into the truth piece. There are many different reasons why people are engaged in this. So there are different levels of, prostitution in some ways. Can we have purity of intent? I hope so. We get as close to it as we can. Absolutely. But I think the internet is creating a planet of whores. I know it's strong language, but it was quite effective in a lot of ways. 37. Hey, I got 39 responses, and I got a bunch of comments. Boy, I'm onto something here. I put something up last night. This is interesting. Oh, by the way, Israel got their jets attacked by missiles from Syria. Boom. I'm telling you, it's going to go down. So last night I found this picture of David Bowie and Liz Taylor. I had never seen this picture before. Never. And Terry O'Neill is the photographer. He's quite a good photographer, black and white stuff.